All right, first of all, what a day, but this is kind of an exciting chill one because I'm gonna be using the Canon RP for the first time and just testing it out, see what this camera can do and offer. Now, I didn't buy this camera, but my cousin bought it, and he bought it for himself, and he's thinking about getting into portrait photography for his daughter. She's getting into acting, and he just thought, like, oh, I need some headshots. So after going to Best Buy and our decision to get the Canon RP, now in thoughts that we had the Canon R and the Canon 90D, that were also some options. But the reason why the RP turned out to be fantastic for him is because he's only gonna be doing portraits and capturing like family moments. So I feel like having that 26 megapixels, at least some form of 4K, even though it is a crop. So now I'm going to test this out so I can teach him about this camera, but I want to have some fun, so I'm going to explore all around this town of Sierra Madre and find some things to just take pictures and test out the video qualities. So let's run it. So here's what I'm thinking I'm about to do first. I'm probably going to check out the video specs first because I'm a video person first, and then I'm going to do a photo walk around Sierra Madre town and just kind of capture what I just see. But that's what I'm gonna work with because I'm very curious. That crop though, I'm not really feeling it, but it's for my cousin, so this should work out for him. All right, so I'll hop over to that 4K on the Canon RP. I'm kind of curious, what is that gonna look like? Yeah, I don't know if I'm liking this crop, honestly. No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to switch this to 1080. Yeah, that's way better. All right, well, this is the full frame version of the 1080p. Also, I'm doing this in a neutral profile. Yeah, not bad. Let's get some sequences and see what that looks like. Now, I haven't used an updated Canon besides my Canon T3i that was 2011, but now that it's like 2023, it's different. I don't know what you think. I feel like it's all right. I kind of like the 1080p on this, but I think shooting in 4K crop would definitely benefit for like maybe more in-depth detail of something. So I think that's the only time when I'll probably use the crop version of the 4K. But otherwise than that, I think shooting at a 1080p kind of works good for this camera. So you can do pretty well with this, you know? So I might continue to shoot on 1080p instead of 4K because this is better that way. All right, I kind of want to try the 4K now. With the sequences from all that 1080, I think having that crop can be kind of cool trying it out now. So might have to step back this far. Let's give it the 4K try. Damn, that's such a huge difference. All right, let's roll a sequence. Well, at least this camera has 4K. Rather if it didn't. I think the 1080 still is nice with it though. So this is when I found that the 4K crop sensor seemed like it was going to be very useful. Getting close-up shots and wanting to get detailed and crispier shots of something from far away has that ability for you to crop in. But when you're vlogging yourself and trying to point the camera at your face, it's a little bit more challenging. But when you're focusing on something else that's not you, it's easier. All right, so just a heads up, I have an A7S III and I also have a GH5. I am not making this a review video whatsoever. I'm just wanting to test this video out, just try out what the video specs have to offer and who I can possibly recommend it to. I clearly recommend it to my cousin, so I think it's kind of cool. However, let's talk more about the photo features and do the photo side of everything. All right, so now let's put this 26 megapixels to the test by doing some street photography. So the challenge that I'm trying to work around is that the fact that this day is very hot, like blazing hot, and it's very bright outside. There's barely any clouds up in the sky, so I'm getting direct sunlight, and it's gonna make a lot of things more challenging because I'm getting more harsh lighting. But where there's harsh lighting, there's also plenty and tons of shadows, which is going to make for a lot of crazy contrast between brights and darkness within the clips and the photos I'm capturing. The Canon RP has a dynamic range of 12 stops at the base ISO at 100, and it kind of has a response to the A7 III, the Nikon Z6, and kind of similar to the EV from that. Now, it's very significant in its like differences from that is the fact that when it comes to recovering the details within the highlights and the raw imaging, it actually seems to have a heavy backlit within its scenes. So here was the true test about that dynamic range. I found this bell tower that seemed really cool, but the contrast was so crazy that the bell tower was dark, but the sun was too bright. so with them recovering the shadows within the bell tower, it seemed as if it held pretty well. I mean, I wouldn't expect less from Canon, considering the fact that recovering details from the highlights and also the shadows within the photos themselves, it turns out it was really like fantastic and amazing. It was really like shocking that enough for me to see the details were really that clean. I gotta say, this Canon RP, I kind of like it for the photos. I'm not really feeling it for video. It's very simple, but you know, like I said, I'm coming from the A7S III and a GH5, so this is kind of a downgrade for me. But for how the simplicity is for this, yeah, I kind of fucks with this. Damn. All right, so I kind of want to talk about my thoughts about this Canon RP. So far, it seemed like it's just really cool, but you know, considering that me being a videographer first and a photographer, it doesn't really fit for me. But here's what I think about it though. I did like this had some in-body image stabilization. I think that was actually pretty of a nice touch. This 24 to 105 is pretty nice. Now, the thing for me when it came to the video and photography, I felt like the contrast was like completely crazy, and it was a little bit more too punchy for me. So I was like, yeah, I needed to like dial back a little bit on like the contrast. Now mind you, I didn't dial into the specs and the details of trying to flip things around to make it exactly how I like it for what my Sony has to offer and also my GH5. But however, for just bringing the camera out and out of camera, like the photos that I took, I felt like were pretty chill and pretty simple. But for the grip for this camera, I like the very small, lightweight body it is. It takes very fast pictures, at least that I've seen, and seems like it can really hold up for my cousin. So, you know, kind of feeling it. Now, would I buy it? No, I would specifically get the Canon R if that was the case, but that's not even the case for me. I still want to get me the Canon R5. The R6 is still nice, and I had some time to even play with the R6 at one point. Now, this camera's been out for a minute, so obviously this is not a review video, and I just wanted to show you guys my experience with the Canon RP and how I felt about it, how it did well for me. Like I said, it was pretty cool, so it's kind of a downgrade from what I have, but for what it's worth, for what it has, I think this is pretty cool. If you guys did like this video, then feel free to like the video, and if you want to see more content like this, then feel free to subscribe. It's entirely up to you guys. Otherwise than that, I'm gonna go edit some of this stuff for you, make it do what it is, what it doesn't, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. I know I just said that, y'all just watch the video, but I haven't edited this yet, so